Kyuubi's a predator. I don't know if I said this earlier when I was thinking back to where do you make your wish, and then Kyuubi just shows up at a car accident. But literally, I'll stay here with Sakuya so that Sakuya can make a wish when you're not around. Kyuubi's a fucking predator. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we are back with another episode of Madoka Magica, episode 3. But first, we have stuff to go over for episode 2. Namely, we have a comment from Henry, from the Patreon, from the episode That Would Be Truly Wonderful. Yeah, there are quite a few instances of German in this show, mostly for the European folklore vibes, I think. But sometimes there's a bit more meaning too. The witches' familiars, cotton balls, in the first episode also spoke it, but they didn't say anything too interesting. The text on the wall in this episode is very poetic and old-timey, so even if you can read it, it's hard to make sense of. I'm going to post a translation here because you're 99.9% likely to not know where it's from, and the passage itself doesn't contain any spoilers. But under no circumstances should you look up where the show creators took this from. I got a note about that, but I'm going to read what they said here, and of course, it'll be on here on the overlay if you want to read the note. Woe, woe, thou hast it destroyed, the beautiful world, with powerful fist, in ruin 'tis hurled, by the blow of a demigod shattered. The scattered fragments into the void we carry, deploring the beauty perished beyond restoring. Mightier for the children of men, brightlier build it again. In thine own bosom build it anew, bid the new career commence with clearer sense, and the new songs of cheer be sung thereto. I feel like the chance now that is, if you watch any horror movie where you trick somebody into reading the Latin phrases that summon the demons that then kill you by the end of the movie. That's what Henry has done to me now. Anyway, I pre-wrote my response to this because I knew I was going to be more cognizant when I was reading the response. Also, I was watching the episode again to take my notes, so some of this is going to be a little bit of a mixed note and mixed response. So here's the thing. Normally, I would absolutely translate the text and see where it comes from and apply that information to what is in the show. That tends to be how I handle most references when it comes to stuff like this. I usually figure that if a show is leaving me something as a hint, then its greater meaning would be the source of that hint. So, if anyone else had said not to follow the clues, I probably would have ignored them. Henry has been a supporter of the channel for a while now. Check out our reactions to Kino's Journey, Gosensu-sama, Animation Runner, recently or upcoming, depending on how you define Samurai Horror Tales, Mononoke. So I'm gonna listen to you this time, and hope it doesn't bite me in the ass. So, instead of researching the text, I took the text to translate beyond your unsourced version to see if it gave me any other clues, by which I mean I literally took screenshots of the episode and took that to Google Image Translate. So, because normally what I would do is I would type what I see into Google, and then Google would auto-translate it, and then it would also give me sources for it. But since you are literally telling me not to look it up, I took it to Google Image Translate, where it will just translate the text, and I will get zero outside information about it. And of course, the Google Image Translate version reads out as, collapsed, it crumbled, and demigod has smashed it. Carry it, the ruins, into nothingness, and lament over the lost beauty. Mightier of the sons of earth, more magnificent, rebuild it again, rebuild it in your breast. Begin a new life with bright minds, and new songs will resound. There was also a sign behind Sayaka when Mami rushes in to fight the witch. Die Bluhuden, Rosen Sulen der König, sofort geschnickt sein, which translates to the blooming roses should be given to the queen immediately. And of course, there are roses all over the scene, not to mention the rose thorns that were a motif in episode 1 as well. And lastly, on the note about text in the background, when Mami jumps into the fight, there is also a donut behind her. Actually, there's a couple of them with text on it, but it's all cut out. And the only part I could make out was Dear Geist or The Spirit. So, I didn't pre-read your note about the text itself, so I'm actually just having like a first encounter with its meaning. I mean, it very much seems like, destroy the world and build it again. I don't know what the blow of a demigod is in context, unless Kyobi? I don't know. Also, I guess the element of what I keep guessing to be a time loop situation could be the rebuilding of the world element with a clearer sense on the new Song of Cheer. I don't know. Also, the element of what I say about the meaning of the end song and all the elements that I brought forward with my theory about the time loop element to the opening song. So, could be either or. Could be none. I could be completely wrong. It all depends on how long I lean into this idea of this being a thing. And of course, only 2 episodes in, kind of hard. Anyway, that was the comment response. We do still have a board. Not gonna put it up here though, because literally my board changelog note is none. Because really nothing really has changed. The character relationships have stayed the same. It is just a matter of now we've gotten a little bit of an info dump. So, no change. So, I have the rest of my notes proper, because obviously not all of them applied to the comment response. So, let's get into that. Something I've been left to think about between recordings is something I talked about during the last reaction, which was the nature of wishing. Obviously, you have to know, you have your known concerns. The Monkey's Paw, Evil Djinns, D&D's Wish spell, which has rules that tells the DM to contort the phrasing to the best of their ability. Heck, the movie Wishmaster was entirely that premise. The thing I was focusing on last time was pragmatism. Specifically, unlike any of the aforementioned examples, except for Wishmaster, you only get the one wish in this universe, it seems. Well, unless the idea is that you beat a witch, repower your soul gem thing, and get another wish, but in that case, you are opening an entirely different can of worms. In this case, what I mean is the pragmatism of knowing when to use your wish, on what, and for the maximum benefit. What good is it to wish for wealth if you die tomorrow? Beyond that, there is also the infinite nature of the wish. You could change the entire nature of reality to create a situation where no one ever needed for anything ever again. Heck, to the repowering thing, the only reason I think that you wouldn't just wish that witches weren't a thing to try and save everyone is that greed built into the system that eliminating witches gets you more wishes. Again, this is all theory. I don't know if that's true or not. In fact, I think I have a future note about it as well. It's not only inherently antagonistic from a different side's point of thing, it's designed to make you antagonistic to your own allies in order to compete for that power. One last note in this whole rambling mess. My memory always goes back to Tom and Ben of the Yogg's cast when it comes to wishes. I don't know if you know them. Yogg's cast, big English group. Their joke scenario was a genie comes to them and offers them each one wish, and Tom's wish is that Ben gets no wishes. Just the funny little antagonistic nature coming into play. So I broke down the lyrics of the opening last time, but watching the opening this time, something I noticed between all these scenes of our characters at school and at home was this shot of Sayaka standing next to a guy in a tuxedo holding a violin. Who's that guy? It's certainly not Nakazawa, aka Egg Guy. I only wonder, due to the fact that unlike the other shots that last like 1 to 2 seconds apiece, this shot goes by so incredibly fast that it feels like it's meant to be a blink and you miss it scene. So, why were they hiding it, if not to hide this guy, I feel like. I don't know what it is, but Mammy, sorry, I still don't know how to say her name. I want to say Mommy all the time, and that doesn't feel right. Mammy has a picture sitting on the left-hand side of her room when they first walk in that totally just reminds me of the Labyrinth. I swear it looks so familiar, but 10 minutes of Googling just could not get me there. So writing this off for now, but I doubt it's of any import. But beyond her having a clock on the wall saying it's past 11 p.m. and there was still light outside, not much else really jumped out at me. Of course, when QB mentioned that witches hide within barriers, like the labyrinth-like area that you wandered into before, I had to come back to this comment to note that mention, because, not for nothing, I just looked at it and saw a labyrinth, and then QB's like, oh, they hide in labyrinths. It's like, are we putting 2 and 2 together here? Okay, so the makeup scene. All the makeup items are in exactly the same spots with the exact same numbers as last episode. I went back to the first episode to check, and it is exactly the same. No changes. I thought there might be some importance to showing it again, but unless I've really failed at playing hidden picture games, I'm not seeing any differences at all. I mean, maybe that is the thing? Even all the little balls in number 10 are exactly the same. That feels unusual. Okay, so witches cannot be seen by normal humans, which should imply that if Madoka is our point of view character, we shouldn't have seen a witch in episode 1 until all the funny business started after school, right? That is literally a question. Right? I think the question has to be asked. If Kyobi didn't grant Kemi a wish to get her soul gem, then where did she get her powers from? If Kyobi did grant her a wish, then why is she trying to kill them? Also, she's a transfer student from a different area. What was Kyobi doing out there if Mammy has been going to this school for 3 years? In the classroom scene, the text on the board was literally the same as the teacher was saying, just with the odd example of a dog named Milo being hit by a car. Or Milo. My thought process went exactly to Milo and Otis, which is actually a Japanese movie, but I saw thinking it was a European movie. Anyway, Milo was the cat in that movie, Otis was the dog, so it doesn't even apply here to that. Either Madoka is no good at drawing eyes, or has chosen to go all serial killer doll eyes with her illustrations. So yeah, lingering question. What was Akami's wish? If I'm right about the time loop thing, then it's likely not her that caused the rewind, as she already had powers in that future. Again, unless defeating a witch gives you a new wish. Otherwise, Madoka became a magical girl and caused the rewind at the same time with her wish. But evidently, you don't stay a magical girl if you rewind to before the time of the wish. So I said that as a statement. I have it written as a question. That, or I guess that's how she initially saw Kyuubi, that she is already one and just doesn't realize it yet. I know I keep making guesses about taking out witches might get you more wishes. Hey, it rhymes. Things that rhyme are true. But technically, all they imply is that a grief seed can replenish your magic. Though I'll point out, how does that work? What we see happen is that darkness flows out of the soul gem and into the grief seed. Actively, the soul gem is losing something, not gaining something. Granted, it's losing darkness, so maybe becoming more pure somehow. Either way, that doesn't say how it's getting more power if nothing is flowing back into it. Actually, that was also my final note. So that said, those are my thoughts, and of course the comment going from episode 2 into episode 3, so I guess there's nothing really left to do here, but hop on in.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Okay. This is something I saw and didn't take a note about, but Sakia was talking about how do we not have wishes, we must be like too well off, and she imagines somebody sitting in like the shadow of a room like this. So her mother is hospitalized, I'm guessing. I don't know why I didn't take a note about it. There we go! The opening question I had, who's the guy with the violin? Was a micro CD? Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, that's the guy. Sorry. I asked the question. Well, we know where this wish is gonna go. I wonder, now, while I have the chance, if the target of the wish is going to become a witch. Right? Like, is it a matter of the regret you feel for the cost that somebody else had to pay for you causes you to become a witch? I was just wondering who the hell that guy was, because it went by so fast. Like, I think it's like right after this. It's like 2 shots of the household. But it's like, who the hell is that guy? And, well, literally the opening of episode 3. I'm glad I noticed these things, like, almost immediately before the question comes in, or gets answered. See, also, is this an element of the time loop? Boom, there it is. He was like right there. Which I guess means that she'll meet him at some point. It's either that or it was an allusion to this scene here. Although I will point out, it's Sayaka there, not the mother. I was about to say unless that was the mother, but I don't think that was the mother. Because I was thinking to myself, who is this girl? And I just realized it's Sayaka, which is much more blue hair than I'm used to seeing.
ぱマミさんってかっこいいね。もう見せ物じゃないのよ。危ないことしてるって意識は忘れないでおいてほしいわ。イエス。あ、グリフシード落とさなかったね。今のは魔女から分裂した使いまでしかないからね。グリフシードは持ってないよ。魔女じゃなかったんだ。なんか
Are we gonna see one of them turn into a magical girl and finally see that the witches are people? Because remember before we saw this weird thing that was attacking them and it was a witch. Like when we see the witches themselves, it's gonna be like, oh, she's actually shooting people in the fucking head. I think if I made a wish, I would constantly be thinking about how I could have made the wish phrasing better, or gotten more stuff, or included more people.
ねえマミさん、願い事って自分のための事柄でなきゃダメなのかな。例えばの話なんだけどさ、私なんかよりよほど困ってる人がいて、その人のために願い事をするのは、それって上条くんのこと？例え話だって言ってるじゃんか。別に契約者自身が願い事の対象になる必然性はないんだけどね。
Yeah, I mean, it's a wish.
ないわけじゃないし。でもあまり関心できた話じゃないわ。他人の願いを叶えるのなら、なおのこと自分の望みをはっきりさせておかないと。ミキさん、あなたは
It's a wish. Literally, also Kiyomi said, I can do this. I can do anything.
同じようでも全然違うことよ。これ。その言い方はちょっとひどいと思う。ごめんね。
I know I'm upping what like a wish is after having a whole note about how bad wishes can be.
そうだね。私の考えが甘かった。ごめん。やっぱり難しい事柄よね。焦って決めるべきではないわ。
Also now remembering like that Tales from the Crypt episode where somebody wishes that a woman would love him forever, and they become crazy obsessed and he ends up having to kill her, and then she rises from the dead to love him forever anyway.
僕の立場でせかすわけにはいかないしね。助言するのもルール違反だし。ただなりたいってだけじゃダメなのかな。マドカは力そのものに憧れているのかい？いや、そんなんじゃなくて、そうなのかな。私ってどんくさいし、何の取り柄も。
I mean, that'd be a cool character twist. Madoka thirsts for power.
それだけで十分に幸せなんだけど。マドカが魔法少女になれば、マミよりずっと強くなれるよ。もちろん、どんな願い事で契約するかにもよるけれど。
I want to point out, you just said suggestions are against the rules, and then suggested stuff. Also, the framing could not come off as more evil.
どうしたの？またか。まったくもう。あのすだれハゲ、飲みたきゃ手酌でやってろっつうの。めくら
Oh, the boss.
ありがとう。ココアでも入れよ
No,
うか。
the head of her department?
お願い。
She mentioned the baldy guy before.
なんでママはあんなに仕事が好きなのかな。昔からあの会社で働くのが夢だったなんてないよね。
ママは仕事が好きなんじゃなくて頑張るのが好きなのさ。嫌なことも辛いこともいっぱいあるだろうけど、それを乗り越えた時の満足感がママにとっては最高の宝物なのさ。
I mean, if you love the challenge and you work at a place that you're constantly challenged, then I guess that's great. Because sometimes achieving your goal is the worst thing. Because then you have nothing left to strive for, or nothing meaningful. There's always more stuff to strive for, but not if you liked the strife that you had.
僕はね、ママのそういうところが大好きだ。尊敬できるし、自慢できる。素晴らしい人だってね。
分かってるの。あなたは無関係な一般人を危険
I don't
に
know if she's like hiding it by making it a ring.
彼女たちはキューベイに選ばれたのよ。もう無関係じゃないわ。あなたは二人を魔法少女に誘導している。それが面白くないわけ？ええ、迷惑。特に要まどか。そう、あなたも気づいてたのね。あの子の素質に。彼女だけは契約させるわけにはいかない。自分より強い相手は邪魔者ってわけ？いじめられっ子の発想ね。
I feel like there's something with the shadows, but I'm not seeing anything.
なら二度と会うことのないよう努力して話し合いだけでことが済むのはきっと今夜で最後だろうから。
I honestly expected it not to be resolved peacefully tonight. We were really framing this like a fight was about to happen.
よ、お待たせ。あれ？上条くん、会えなかったの？なんか今日は都合悪いみたいでさ。わざわざ来てやったのに失礼しちゃうわよね。どうしたの？あそこ、何か。クリーフシートだ。差し掛かってる。
Oh, is that how that works? I thought somebody just hurled it at a wall.
もうすぐ結界が出来上がる。またあの迷路が。まどか、マミさんの携帯聞いてる？
Guess you're not carrying the bat with you.
まどか、先行ってマミさんを呼んできて。私はこいつを見張ってる。そんな無茶だよ。中の魔女が出てくるまでにはまだ時間があるけど、結界が閉じたら君は
The witch hatches? I thought a witch would have planted the seed, not its for to make a witch. They literally said a worse place to see this happen would be a hospital.
マミならここまで来ればテレパシーで僕の位置がわかる。ここでさやかと一緒にクリーフシードを見張っていれば
Cubi's a predator. I don't know if I said this earlier when I was thinking back to where do you make your wish and then Cubi just shows up at a car accident. But literally, I'll stay here with Sakia so that Sakia can make a wish when you're not around. Cubi's a fucking predator. Did that say confusion? It was like a quick flash.
怖いかい、さやか。そりゃまあ当然でしょう。願い事さえ決めてくれれば、今この場で
Boom.
魔法少女にしてあげること。
Fucking predator.
いざとなったら頼むかも。でも今はやめとく。私にとっても大事なことだから。できることならいい加減な気持ちで決めたくない。
Do people see her wandering around the hospital, or is she like in a
ここね。
like metaphysical labyrinth?
キューベ、状況はまだ大丈夫。すぐに復活する様子はないよ。さやかちゃん、大丈夫？平気。退屈で居眠りしちゃいそう。むしろうかつに大きな魔力を使って卵を刺激する方がまずい。急がなくていいから、なるべく静かに。
Yeah, not for nothing, but that logo also looks like Cubi standing up. Wish I could figure out this weird Wingdling's language. Probably all of the clues, right?
こ
It's like figuring out the all bed language in Final Fantasy X from the very beginning, and just knowing what everyone's saying.
言ったはずよね。二度と会いたくないって。今回の獲物は私が狩る。あなたたちが手を引いて。そうもいかないわ。ミキさんとキューベイを迎えに行かないと。その二人の安全は保証するわ。信用すると思って。バカ。こんなことやってる場合じゃ。もちろん怪我させるつもりはないけど。あんまり暴れたら保証しかねるわ。
Also kind of makes you feel like the bad guy here, Mammy.
わけが違う。おとなしくしていれば帰りにちゃんと解放してあげる。行きましょう、要さん。はい。
Again, if Akami does know how things pan out, then she might know what's about to happen. Which is to say, this might be where one of them makes a wish and turns into a magical girl. And she's trying to prevent that very situation from happening.
マミさん。何？願い事、私なりにいろいろと考えてみたんですけど。決まりそうなの？はい。でも、もしかしたらマミさんには考え方が甘いって怒られそうで。どんな夢を叶えるつもり？私って昔から得意な学科とか人に自慢できる才能とか何もなくて、きっとこれから先ずっと誰の役にも立てないまま迷惑ばかりかけていくのかなって、それが嫌でしょうがなかったんです。
Yeah, these must be a metaphysical hospital.
誰かを助けるために
Like, they're not walking around seeing an acid trip and other people are watching them walk around in an actual hospital.
私にもできるかもしれないって言われて、何よりも嬉しかったのはそのことで、だから私魔法少女になれたらそれで願い事は叶っちゃうんです。こんな自分でも誰かの役に立てるんだって胸を張って生きていけたら、それが一番の夢だから。大変だよ。怪我もするし、恋したり遊んだりしてる暇もなくなっちゃうよ。でもそれでも頑張ってるマミさんに私憧れてるんです。憧れるほどのものじゃないわよ、私。無理してカッコつけてるだけで、怖くても辛くても誰にも相談できないし、一人ぼっちで泣いてばかり。
I mean, you do have these girls.
魔法少女なんて。マミさんはもう一人ぼっちなんかじゃないです。そうね。
Again, this is the element I'm trying to figure out the show on face value and on what I think is happening.
本当にこれから私と一緒に戦ってくれるの？そばにいてくれるの？はい。私なんかでよかったら。参ったな。
Are you being manipulated or?
やっぱり私ダメな子だ。マミさん。でもさ、せっかくなんだし、願い事は何か考えておきなさい。せっかくですかね、やっぱり。
Maybe it really feels like she's changed the animations a little bit.
物はついでと思っておこうよ。億万長者とか素敵な彼氏とかなんだっていいじゃない。いや、じゃあこうしましょう。この魔女をやっつけるまでに願い事が決まらなかったら、その時はキューベイにごちそうとケーキを頼みましょう。ケーキ？
Real waste of a wish. As per the whole pragmatism thing I talked about a little while ago.
私と要さんの魔法少女コンビ結成記念よ。私、ケーキで魔法少女に？嫌ならちゃんと自分で考える。マミ！グリーンシードが動き始めた。人が始まる。急いで。オッケー、分かったわ。今日という今日は速攻で片付けるわよ。そんな。
At least the transformation sequences aren't that long. So I keep kind of semi-mocking when I talk about Voltace 5. gun kata.
体が軽い。こんな幸せな気持ちで戦うなんて初めて。もう何も怖くない。
Name of the episode.
私、一人ぼっちじゃないもの。
It really feels like we're setting up for a real big fall.
お待たせ。間に合った。気をつけて。出てくる
God,
よ。
that ball in the upper left corner, really distracting. Yeah, I really want to know what that fucking says.
せっかくのとこ悪い。
What language is that?
一気に決めさせて。もらうわよ。
It's the thing that worked last time. Does that mean she has no powers left? That she's dead? Oof. Fuck.
二人とも今すぐ僕と契約を。まどか、さやが
Or are we gonna wait for Akami to show up?
願い事を決めるんだ。早く。その必要はないわ。
Because Kyobi is a fucking predator.
こいつを仕留めるのは私。
I think I am drawn as Kemi. That's gotta be this outfit. Why is every witch a cartoon character, also? I will say I do feel bad for suspecting Mamie, considering it feels like she just got her head bitten off, so clearly wasn't the bad guy I thought she might have been.
あなたたち。
Unless this was all a facade. I don't know anymore.
目に焼き付けておきなさい。魔法少女になるってそういうことよ。
But where goes Akemi's body?
返してよ。返せよ。それはマミさんのものだ。返せって言ってるだろ。マミさんに。そうよ。これは魔法少女のためのもの。あなたたちには触る資格なんてない。
I guess at least they weren't super brutal about it. I mean, they were for these two. For us, she was just a falling body. This is a new outro. Okay. So the intro and the outro are going to change sometimes. I'm going to have to keep my eye on that. Sorry, the element also of... ever since I watched 86, I feel like I'm just constantly watching for intros and outros that have some other content in them. So yeah, from this episode, I'm gonna dive the ending more into the next time notes. Obviously, I don't think there's much to pick up there other than who are the silhouettes, but I'm gonna more read the outro lyrics. Figure out what they're about. again, my big take from this episode is that Kyobi is a predator, thus more cementing into my mind that they are up to something. Like, if I had to guess now, it's not that the grief seeds are giving you another wish. It's probably you have to collect a certain number of grief seeds to appease Kyobi or something. Like, maybe that's why people are fighting, to get out of the wish state. Is that a face?
マミさん、本当に優しい人だったんだ。戦うためにどういう覚悟がいるのか、私たちに思い知らせるために。あの人は奇跡も魔法もあるんだよ。
I mean, I could understand now where one of them makes a wish because, Madoka didn't have anything in mind, and now you clearly have bring Mammy back to life or something like that, right? Essentially, whatever wish may have happened at the beginning to cause us to go back to before whatever happened could be the thing you do for Mammy. Additionally, well, I'm sorry, not additionally, just something I was thinking there at the end. Why was Lord Humongous in the next time on postcard thing for this episode? Like, Lord Humongous, oh god. Oh, maybe. Sorry, it's just occurring to me now. Why was Lord Humongous in that? It had nothing to do with this. Akemi is here, pushing the whole don't become magical girls thing, right? What is Lord Humongous known for? Just walk away. His whole speech, give us the gas and just walk away. Maybe that's the connective tissue? Akemi's whole thing about don't do this, just walk away? It's something. It's something apropos of not having any other connective tissue about any of this. I feel like there might be something more there with what the mother is going through, but I don't know. I mean, unless it's more of just a inspiration moment from Madoka herself. I'm not exactly sure. Again, a lot of this is going to be rewatching notes. I don't particularly recall seeing any more German text in the background. At the same time, though, there's more of the witch text, which I don't understand. Because even when I pause on it, it's like, is that a G? And it's like, no, I don't think these are even letters. If they are, they're letters of a foreign alphabet. Here's the thing. I think that I would need more of it, and I would need more of a chance to understand it to be able to figure that out. Because the only time I've ever been really good at password substitution stuff is when it's like a longer text and I can replace words. But these appear to be proper nouns, and you can't do that with proper nouns because a proper noun could be anything. Anyway, I do feel like I'm a bit of a ramble here. My main point is Kyobi is a predator, and more on the next time in notes. So, that said, though, I think that's going to be it for this episode. I have been Theta. This has been Stone-Faced Reactions, and I bowed too early. We will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?